Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Hopefully, it's a good one for Norwich City that they return, of course, to Championship action on Monday, the 1-1 draw against Southampton. But it's a sort of a bit of a break, I suppose, from Championship action this weekend. It's the FA Cup. And with that, delighted to be joined by Gascast podcaster Ollie from that podcast there. Ollie, first and foremost, how are you and how have you found the new year so far?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Rovers didn't get off to the best start in New Year, lost on New Year's Day, but other than that, yeah, all good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've faced each other back in 2009-10 season in League One, so it's not a fixture we get very often. With that, I suppose FA Cup third round draw, but when it was announced you had to make the long journey to Norwich, what was kind of, I suppose, the reaction?
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Norwich City as a club whatsoever, but I don't think Rovers fans were thrilled with the draw, let's say. Obviously, it is a hell of a long way to go, and I don't think we're expecting much either. It's a bit of a free hit for us, I suppose. So from that point of view, I think people are excited just to have a bit of a, like I said, a bit of a free hit at a team in a higher league and see how we get on. But I don't think expectations are that high. So, yeah, I don't think people were overly excited, but now it's here. I think there's a little bit of optimism growing that maybe we can pull off an upset, which is always a way the closer you get to a game, and then reality hits at halftime when you're 3-0 down or something. But yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, Norwich notoriously struggle, to be fair, against lower league sides at home. So there's a little bit of glimmer of hope there for you, maybe. Just based on your season so far, 10th in League One, looks a little bit topsy-turvy from afar. Joey Barton, of course, started in the dugout. You then had the change of Andrew Manigan coming in for temporary charge, and then Matt Taylor appointed on the 1st of December. What have you made of the season so far, I suppose?
Yeah, very eventful in typical Rovers fashion, I suppose. Yeah, like you said, started the season with Joey Barton in charge. It was going to be our second full season in League One under him, having brought us up from League Two a couple of years ago. I think expectations at the start of the season were pretty high, to be honest. There was a lot of investment in the squad over the summer. We spent some big fees relatively for Rovers anyway. Recruited some really sort of good top-end League One players, I would say. And I think we were all hoping for a playoff push, really, this season. And that might still happen. We're not miles outside it, and there's still a lot of football left to be played. But the managerial change midway through the season has definitely caused a little bit of unrest, I guess. It just resets everything. And that momentum that we kind of had isn't still there anymore, I guess, of having the same manager. The new manager's come in. It's not his squad at all. Obviously, we are now in the window, so he can go and recruit a few players in. But January is always a tricky window to get a lot of bodies in. So I don't think we'll see much movement. So, yeah, to be honest, I think probably fairly happy with where we sit at the moment. I think we're 9 points outside the playoffs currently. So, as I said, not a million miles away. And if we could put together a sort of semi-decent run in the second half of the season, then maybe we could have a sniff of getting in the top six come May. So, yeah, not too bad so far.
Yeah, Matt Taylor been in the job just over a month. Have you seen any changes, I suppose, in terms of a sort of a playing style, or what sort of has he brought, I suppose, to the memorial ground that maybe Joey Barton didn't do previously?
Yeah, quite big changes, to be fair, considering he's only been in the job about 6 weeks. And obviously he's come in the sort of busy Christmas period where he won't have had a lot of time on the training ground with the players, etc. But he's changed the shape, first of all. So we were playing a 4-3-3 under Barton. We've now gone to wing backs under Matt Taylor, which is typically his sort of favoured formation that he played at Exeter and Rotherham quite a lot. So we're kind of playing a bit of a 3-4-2-1, I suppose you'd call it, with two kind of number 10s in behind a bigger striker up top. That's had a really good impact. I think the change of shape suits the squad we've got quite a bit. We look a bit more potent going forwards and a bit more solid at the back with that back three that kind of turns into a back five when you don't have the ball as well. So that's definitely helped. And in terms of the style of play, I think we're less possession heavy now. So Barton very much tried to have us kind of play in the Pep Guardiola pass out from the back at every opportunity. There'd be games where we'd have 65% of the ball, but then have 2 shots on target at the end of the game. And it was almost kind of purposeless possession a lot of the time and quite frustrating to watch, to be honest. It's not that exciting to watch your own team pass it around the back four for 5 minutes and go nowhere with it. So that's kind of been ditched. We can still play out from the back at times, and we have not gotten hoofball by any stretch of the imagination. But I think Taylor's just a lot more willing for us to go direct at times. You know, if there isn't a short passing option out, we will just hit it up to the front man and play off him. And we've got two big sort of big physical strikers up top who we rotate between. So we have got targets up there just to knock a long pass up to and play off of them. And we're not scared to do that at times now. So I think we just mix our game up a little bit more than we did. And it's making us a sort of a lot more effective, I think, going forwards, getting more crosses into the box, taking more shots on. We're a bit shot shy under Barton as well. So yeah, he's made quite a few changes. Considering the short amount of time he's been here, there's been quite a noticeable change, I would say.
Yeah, you mentioned the sort of forward men a few times there. There's a Canary connection in the front line of Bristol Rovers. Of course, Chris Martin, 35 years of age now, 8 goals so far this season. He seems to be kind of almost found a new home, I suppose, at Bristol Rovers. What have you made of him so far this campaign?
He's done superbly, to be fair. So we went for Johnson Clark-Harris from Peterborough at the end of the summer window, went down to deadline day. We missed out by about 40 seconds on that transfer or something. We were going to pay about just under $1 million for him. That fell through, but we'd already let a striker go. So the window shut and we only had John Marquis up front as pretty much our only striker in the squad. So we were in a bit of a desperate situation starting the season. Chris Martin was a free agent, so we went out, got him. Again, I don't think expectations were that high for what he was going to offer us, being the age he is, without a club at the time. And, you know, I suppose he is what he is. He's a 35, I think, year old target man who mobility is not really there. He's not running the channels, or he ain't got the pace to get in behind a defence, but he's just so physically strong. Defenders just bounce off him. You can play it into him. He'll brush defenders off, hold it up, bring your attacking midfielders and his strike partner into play. And yeah, his goal return is superb. He's got 8 so far this season. I saw a stat posted on Twitter the other day that he's only had 20 shots, taken 20 shots since he's come in. So to get 8 goals from 20 shots is, you can't argue with that in terms of sort of clinical edge, I guess. So yeah, he's been a really good addition to the squad. He's not the long-term answer, obviously, by any means. And his loan, he's on a very short-term contract with us, so it runs out at the end of this month. And as of yet, it's not been extended. So he might be, leaving the club at the end of this month. But yeah, he's been a superb addition and one that was much needed given the situation we were in when the summer window shut, really.
Yeah, just turning the attention now forward to the FA Cup, of course. You've already played 2 games in this competition so far. 7-2 victory over Whitby Town in the first round, and then beat Crewe Alexandra 4-2. What have you made of those games, I suppose? Have you rotated the squad heavily, or is the cup maybe a focus for Bristol Rovers this season?
It's been, we've gone fairly full strength for both of those games so far. Whitby looked like a bit of a banana skin on paper for us because we typically lose at home to non-league sides in the FA Cup over the last 4 or 5 years. So it was nice to put 7 past them and go through quite comfortably in that game. The Crewe game, again, looked like a tricky test because they're doing quite well in League Two and their home record is really strong as well. So I don't think it was Matt Taylor's first competitive game in charge as well. So I think we were all a little bit unsure about how we'd get on there. But yeah, it was a really convincing win. We went 4-0 up and they pegged 2 back towards the end, but it was never really in danger of us chucking that away. So yeah, it was a really good performance there. We did go fairly full strength. I expect us to do the same again this weekend. We've got quite a few injuries. That's the only thing. So it's almost like there isn't a lot of rotation options really for the manager because of those injury problems that we've got. So yeah, it's been a nice little cup run. It's nice to be in the 3rd round. It's been a while since we've had a really good cup run. And I think we've had seasons in the past like this where we've been mid-table and you go on a little bit of a run in either this cup or the League Cup, and it can really bring a bit of spark to the season and give you a bit of excitement in the second half of the season. So I guess kind of hoping for the same again this year if we can obviously win on Saturday.
Yeah, you spoke there kind of about the full strength side you're expecting to start. Who's maybe been the star man so far this season? Is there a certain player that we should all be watching and looking out for on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd say probably Connor Taylor, who's a centre-back that we signed from Stoke in the summer. paid about 300,000 for him, which for Rovers is a big fee. It's looking like an absolute steal, to be honest. I'd be surprised if some Championship clubs didn't come in from this summer. We had him on loan in the League Two season where we went up a couple of years ago, and he just looked like an absolute Rolls Royce at that level. And now getting him back in League One, he's comfortably one of the best centre-backs in League One from what I've seen. I think he would comfortably slot into any of the teams at the top of the league, like Pompey, Bolton, etc. And he's very young as well, 21. He's about 6'7" or so. So he's quite comfortable on the ball as well, can bring it out. So yeah, he's absolute class, to be honest. I don't think he'll be with us very long, unfortunately. But yeah, he's definitely one that I think the Norwich fans will probably enjoy watching on Saturday.
Yeah, we've had to endure kind of enjoying other teams' opposition's players this season due to the nature of our season. Just any memories, I suppose, of FA Cup runs or FA Cup games, particularly for Bristol Rovers down the years? I mean, it looks like you last made round 4 in 2006-07, so it's an opportunity to sort of write that record, a new, recent bit of history. But is there maybe a game or sort of run that sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, so our best FA Cup run in my lifetime was in 2008, I believe, where we got to the quarterfinals. So we were one game away from Wembley. We got beat 5-1 at home by West Brom in the quarterfinals, but it was it was a superb run that year. So we played Southampton at home. We beat them. I think they were in either the Championship or the Premier League at the time. We beat them 1-0. Ricky Lambert scored a free kick. Earlier in that cup run as well, we went away to Fulham, who were in the Premier League. I think Roy Hodgson was the manager at the time. We got a 2-2 draw there, and we took 7,000 fans, and there were 6,000 Fulham fans there. So we had more fans at their place than they did. We played brilliantly, and then we brought them back to our place in the replay, and we beat them on penalties. So a couple of really memorable games in that run. Since then, the FA Cup's not been that kind to us, to be honest. As I said, we've either gone out to non-league opposition, or for some reason we always seem to draw Peterborough or Crawley in round 2 or 3, and they'll just knock us out and beat us most years. So 2008 is a very fond memory, but I'd like to create some more recent ones, I suppose, if possible.
Yeah, a chance to make that, I suppose, on Saturday coming down to Carrow Road. I think Norwich are unbeaten in the last 4 meetings. That stretches back to about 1975 to show how little we've met in the past. With that, going to get your sort of thoughts and feelings on the game and a score prediction, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I was quite pessimistic about it a couple of weeks ago, but as I said, the closer we edge to it, the more optimistic I get. And I know you guys are having a bit of a topsy-turvy season as well. So I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit. I don't think we're going to win, but I could see maybe a 1-1 or 2-2 draw and bring you guys back to our place for a replay. And we'll see what happens there. But I'm going to go for a draw, I think.
Yeah, I think that'd be the worst possible results for every Norwich fan, to be fair, travelling down to Bristol on a Tuesday night. I think hopefully we get a good game of football and lots of goals. That would be ideal. And just finally, Ollie, do you want to plug your podcast and where Bristol Rovers and Norwich fans can find the content?
Yeah, sure. So we're Gascast Podcast. You can find us on all the main podcast providers, iTunes, Spotify, etc. And then our website is gascastpodcast.co.uk. So if anyone wants to go and listen, much appreciated. We record all the episodes in a pub that's a stone's throw from the Rovers ground, so there's a few pints and a bit of pizza consumed whilst we record as well. So it's a good laugh. So would appreciate anyone who would go along and listen.
There we go. We'll tag it all down below. So if you want to go over and watch it and listen to those guys, then we'll give that opportunity. Thank you, Ollie. Really do appreciate your time this evening. That will round off this week's show. Of course, it's FA Cup action, as we said, an opportunity for Norwich to reach the 4th round for the first time since 2022. That, of course, got knocked out at home to Blackburn last season in the 3rd round. So fingers crossed we can make it to the 4th round. But hopefully we get a good game of football. Lots of great content coming up your way across our channels as well. Of course, we'll be speaking to David Wagner tomorrow. So all the team news updates and everything you need to know ahead of that one will be available on our channels. We'll see you at Saturday at Carrow Road, and hopefully it'll be an FA Cup 3rd round game to remember.